And how do you punch the holes?
That's a separate die. So for our 3-inch belts, we've got the die that does the buckle end, and we've got the die that does the billet end. So there's a die that sits on here. It's the longest die that our press will accept, but it cuts out this end shape and all 11 holes at the same time.
Right. So this is an 11-hole belt. So when you order the belt from Dominion, you're going to be ordering your waist size to the middle hole. All right. So when you order a 38, that's 38. This thing right here is 38. And then if you lose weight, you gain weight, you're fine.
Right.
It allows you quite a bit of flexibility in terms of the sizing of the belt. And that hole looks like about a 7/16. What is that thing? It's a nice big fat one.
It's a 5/16, but it's got a little bit of taper to it, so it's going to look bigger on this side than it actually is on the back side where you feed the prong through.
I had a cheap belt several years ago, and I think it was a combination of the leather not being quite the consistency it should have been. It might have been a split. Mm-hmm. Might have been made out of a split or 2 layers of split or something like that, and too thin a buckle pin.
Right.
And it cut.
Right.
It actually cut all the way through. Right. What do you think the problem was?
Stress is force divided by area, so the bearing stress on one of these holes as that pin gets smaller and smaller is going to go up and up.
Right.
Till eventually you've got a knife edge basically trying to pull through there.
You've got a cheese wire, don't you?
Yeah.
So if you guys have calculated the size of the hole, the curve that size makes, and the size of the buckle pin, and these don't tear.
They don't. We've never had anyone. They might ovalize slightly to begin with,
and
that's
deal
because
with that as long as it's not cutting through the punch.
Yeah, and that's just due to the fact that the hole is punched vertically, the prong is trying to go through at an angle, so it's going to deform slightly on the top and bottom, but it should stabilize.
Have you ever thought about angling the holes toward the buckle pin?
I talked to you about that the first time I met you.
Right. Yeah, I do remember that. What did you decide about that?
Well, we're still trying to figure out logistically how you would do that in volumes.
Well, you'd have to. So when you take this die, is it a stamp?
It
It's
is
a straight vertical stamp.
vertical stamp.
So it'd be, that would be kind of a problem. You'd almost have to come in and create each hole with a separate process.
You'd probably need a stamp that was guided by linear guides on an angle, so that when you put it in the press, it actually slid down and came back up. But it would be an engineering feat to design and build something.
Nobody
like that.
does that, right?
Not that I know of. You can punch holes by hand. You can set this on a wedge and get your punch just right, and you can tap them through. But you can't really do that consistently enough to make the belts
if you
like
have
we're
to do it each one by hand. They're going to be all over the belt.